You may find that often in times when people seem cruel or impatient or selfish, such as the times we are currently living in, with Saturn in Pisces diminishing empathy and the North Node in Aries getting us to really express our anger. During such times, you may find that the people that are kind and compassionate, they stand out from the crowd. They are rare and quite unique, but they do exist, and we need to do our best to support them and even perhaps become them. So if you want to be unique in this period, if you want to stand out, if you want some attention, do your best and help someone out. Be kind, compassionate, stay soft. Now let's get to your career reading. Hello, welcome to the channel. I'm Lexi, you're on the Spiritual Social, and this is a tarot and oracle pick-a-card reading for you on the topic of your career, your professional life. I felt very inspired tonight to just give you some sort of professional magic advice. What is coming up next in your career? What are the dynamics at work? What do you need to know to succeed? So I thought of giving you a choice of 4 different objects, and they randomly came to me. These are my personal objects. I use them in my everyday work, and I just felt like I should go for them. They may carry some intuitive messages that will have a special kind of meaning to you when you stumble upon your reading. Or rather, not stumble it because you will choose it, but yeah, anyway, let me just show you the objects and shut up. So I have here for group 1, so this is a scissor. I guess you can see that the upper part is golden and the lower part is silver. So yeah, that's for you, group 1. For you, group 2, I have here a purple lighter, which actually works. For you, group 3, I have this makeup brush. I use it for eyeshadow. And for you, group 4, I have my shades, my sunglasses. Yeah. As I said, I was intuitively guided towards these objects. I have over here in my corner the tarot and oracle decks I will be using. They are also linked in the description box below if you want to have a look at them, if you want to purchase any of them for yourself. I do need to tell you guys that in terms of my services, I do offer personal tarot readings, oracle readings, rune readings, all sorts of combinations and varieties. I have an extensive list of services. You may access it by clicking on the second link in the description box right underneath channel memberships. And I want to give you the good news that I have a July sale. Throughout the entire month of July, you can get all of my services except the first one, the quick help from the divine, half the price. I feel the need to constantly reinstate this because some of you may only find information by clicking on my videos, and I really want you to take advantage of this sale. If you've always wanted to get a tarot and oracle reading, or if you want to get an astrological birth chart interpretation, a synastry report which looks at compatibility, feel free to take advantage of it now. I know that you may have other expenses in your life, so I really want to help you guys with this July sale. And I just also want to thank the crew members who have been sending me gifts for my tarot and Amazon wishlist. I am including their oracle decks in the reading. I just received a new one called Amor et Psyche from the famous mythological couple. It is a bit lewd. It includes a lot of like NUDE images, so I don't think I'll be able to actually use it in the readings here, but in personal readings I can definitely use them. So yeah, another reason to book a personal reading. Hey, I'm trying to make it as attractive to you as possible. Also, I do want to give you a great big hug and to thank you for being my loyal subscribers or a new subscriber if you just happen to stumble upon my channel. I've been on a bit of a break in the last 3 months, but now I'm right back at it and I hope to keep my upload schedule consistently. We will see in terms of other events that may contribute to disturbing the stability of my work, but I'll do my best to hold ground and hold fort for you guys here and also hold space, holding space. I love you guys so much. I hope you have made a choice. Now let's find out what each of these objects tells me about your professional magic. See you at your pile. Hey group 1, welcome to your tarot pick a card reading. So this is for those of you that were drawn to the scissors. They are very sharp, pointed. So the scissors could signify a couple of things. Maybe you guys pronounce words in English in a funny way, or you are about to deal with somebody at work that mispronounces English words. I find those people so charming. Obviously, the scissor could represent cutting something off, separating. And I feel the need to do this like in your reading because maybe you've been absorbing negative energy from other people and you need to just shed it out. You need to do a cleansing ritual, cutting cords ritual. I would advise to do this with the upcoming full moon. There is a full moon in a couple of days' time. So use the bright, beautiful energy of the full moon to do a cord cutting ritual, do a spiritual cleansing. This may help unblock certain wealth management issues, certain maybe debts that had accrued in your life, and it may even help you push people, because I feel like there could be people that constantly want to take from your energy in your professional path. So let's find out what the cards have to say regarding this energy. Oh, the other thing that I wanted to say about the scissor, because I did say it could represent a couple of things, so cutting things out, but it may also represent sharply pointing towards a new direction. And scissors are also used, well, I use them a lot in mending clothes, right? So it's about, even when you're doing collages, you're cutting something out and then putting it into a different form. So it's about mending, repairing, repurposing something in your career. Maybe you've got a set of skills and you are about to be trained into a different set of skills, and then you will make a collage of these skills, and then this is what you will be hired for, and you will earn a better income or work in a nicer work environment. Okay, let's jump into the cards. Let's see what they have to tell us. Okay, so we have here the Two of Swords. You're not seeing something clearly in your career. It feels like you're being blinded. It feels like also your ideas are, for lack of a better word, leaking out. Like somebody has been, like a woodpecker, pecking inside wood. Somebody has been talking to you, talking up a storm, maybe during your lunch break and your pauses. You think that this person is your work friend, but in reality they are a frenemy, they're a fake friend. And this individual is trying to steal some of your ideas. You cannot be more different than this person. Maybe this person pretends like they like the things you do, like, oh my god, we have so many things in common, but in reality, this individual is trying to steal some of your ideas. This person is literally pulling the wool on your eyes, yeah? In this case, the top hat. The woodpeckered pecked top hat. Wow, try to say that quickly. So I see here with the Two of Swords, the classical meaning would be an anxious state of waiting. You're not making a decision. There are a couple of things you need to consider, and you're just biding your time. Okay, but this card arrived right next to the Four of Swords, and you know that we need to read tarot cards in sequencing. So this does tell me about a pause, a break, a period of taking a step back. Some of you may have actually applied for a career break or some sort of sabbatical, some sort of work from home situation that detaches you from people in the office. Some of you will be deployed in another territory. If you work in the army, if you're a researcher, if you work in natural conservation or environmental tasks, you will be sent off to a different area, different base, a new research facility. Wow, comment down below if I have people that work in such areas and they listen to my channel. Comment down below and let me know what your profession is. I feel like I'm accessing into a new group of people. God bless, you're welcome here. So I see here that this situation, so far you've been treating it feather light. You've been having a no worries approach to it. But it is becoming slightly serious because we have here the 6 of coins. Okay, so all in all, these cards are not that bad. I don't mean to worry you that, oh, there's somebody at work that pretends to be your friend and wants to steal your ideas and they're gonna capitalize on your brilliant work. You should be a little bit mindful, especially if you work in the academic environment in university. You know, people love to steal each other's ideas. So you need to protect your intellectual work a little bit better. Try not to, a good strategy would be don't talk to people about ideas that you haven't yet published on or released at conferences or held an important presentation so that people in your community can associate your idea with your face, with your name. So don't try to go ahead and like boast and brag, oh, I came up with this cool new concept or this new idea or this new book I want to write or this new proposal I'm writing. Be humble. Being humble is really working in your favor. Be a little bit secretive, a little bit mysterious, and things are going to work out in your favor. I think like I'm moving my hands too much, but I do feel like there is a period of movement coming into your professional life. I do feel that more money is coming in, but you have to be careful whom you are going to spend it upon. I feel like you will be tempted to be very generous, to donate a lot of your money, your assets, to donate advice as well, if we could use this verb. You want to be kind, you're going to be feeling quite magnanimous. I feel like you're a very generous person, you know, you've got this natural, genuine generosity of heart. Maybe you have a lot of planets in the 5th house, which makes you this natural superstar, this natural performer, and people could get quite jealous of that because not that many people have your inborn confidence, you know. At the same time, I do feel like being a little bit guarded, a little bit mysterious and secretive is going to really help you out. So in your career, I see you're waiting on something, you're trying to decide. You decided to, or you're leaning towards, in this decision-making process, you're leaning towards taking a break, a rest. I don't think like you're going to quit your job completely, but you know that a change is needed and you are going to take a break. Go on a holiday, go on a city break, explore options, just put things on pause for a while, not push it so hard. And I do think that more money is coming your way, a promotion, a new stream of income, a collaboration as well, because we see the 2 ladies here making tea for each other. A man could be behind this collaboration in the shadows. You see this tiny man dressed in black. But in reality, there will be another person that will front the project, the collaboration. So you could be working together with a woman that has a lot of things in common with you and likes your ideas, but you need to know that behind this woman is an individual, could be potentially a man, because we see this tiny man over there. But anyway, there's another person that may be financing the project or shadow writing or contributing with advice from behind the scenes. This person could be quite powerful, quite wealthy, so this is why they do not enjoy showing up in this way. I'm also noticing here that you've got a lot of dual energy. So we have here the 2 birds, and then I have here as well the scales of the symbol of the Libra, right? So balance, equilibrium, equitable arrangements. Keep things fair, keep things honest and communicative. This is your advice. Okay, let's see right now the oracle cards. So we have here number 1, intuition. The totem of the cat, right? The Egyptian goddess Bast that was worshipped, the goddess with the head of a cat. that was usually placed at the entrance of many temples in ancient Egypt and was worshipped as on the same level as other gods and goddesses. So we have here the inspiring quote is, "Intuition is the messenger of your destiny. Follow it." I feel if you're feeling in this period that I should go maybe on this path, I should maybe call this person, I should write an email to this individual, don't hold back. Allow this inner voice, your intuition, to express itself. Follow that energy. The more you're going to hold back, the worse things will become. It could be that most of you that have chosen this group, you may be having the transit of Saturn currently in Pisces, the sign of intuition, in the 2nd house, the 6th house, and the 10th house. Any of these houses, they represent work. They represent different facets of work. The 2nd astrological house represents the work that you create with your own hands. It represents your daily work environment and independent earned income. The 6th house represents your daily duties, your schedule, planning, meetings. It also represents how you take care of your health in order to have energy to go to work. And it is a bit more of a efficient, controlling kind of energy, while the 10th house represents the accumulation of what you have been working on in the 2nd and the 6th house. I feel like I have like these tentacle hands, but it's basically your legacy. The 10th house is what other people see, so the 2nd and the 6th are what you do in as part of a team behind, you know, in your office space, maybe in some certain cases behind closed doors if you have Scorpio energy in any of these houses. But the 10th house is the finished product. The 10th house is the award. It's the Oscar ceremony for your lifetime contribution to cinema, right? That's the 10th house, the house of mentors, public acclaim, social status, which comes to you through providing consistent work throughout time, right? It's ruled by Saturn. So if you're having a transit to any of these houses, Pisces energy could be there, and you need to honor it by taking a spiritual approach to your work, by being as creative as possible. And if you're going through a writer's block or you have a creative block, push yourself to go beyond your current state by doing meditation. And I highly recommend David Lynch's idea of transcendental meditation. I've been really soaking up knowledge from David Lynch lately. Oh, that sounds a bit gross, but anyway, he's really inspiring me at the moment. And yeah, definitely meditation can help you break through the blocks that you may be experiencing. Okay, I feel like I went on a deep tangent there. Let's see. Oh, yes, child wounded. So this card is upright. I'm gonna read the light attributes. Awakens compassion and desire to serve others. Wounded children opens to the learning path of forgiveness. So you forgot how to be playful in your work, and your work is requiring you to be playful at the moment. And the problem is that you have to go through your pain in order to reach the other side of fun. How should I explain this process as quickly as possible? I think that from my own experience as well of dealing with pain, which is blocking my creative process at the moment, you cannot avoid it. You cannot let it go. You have to kind of hold the pain and feel it and allow it to give you insight and clues. You have to be kind and gentle with yourself. You may need to put other people on hold in this period as you're healing this wounded inner child and thereby unblocking your creativity in your work. For those of you who do not have a creative job per se, you are going at the moment in your dynamics with the people at work, in the corporation where you work or in the environment where you work. Some of you work in charities, you know, from what I'm getting. You are going right now through these dynamics that you encounter with the people at work through something that is harking back to your childhood. It's almost as if somebody at work falls into the role of your mother when you were 5 years old and she scolded you for, I don't know, messing up the socks in the household. Or a new person that arrives at work reminds you of your father when he used to pick you up and put you on his back and gave you a sense of comfort and adventure and of wide opportunities. or like made you feel that everything is possible, that you are closer to the sky when you were piggybacking on his chest. Things like that. Like I think you are surprised at how triggered you are by the things that happen in the present and how they kind of connect to your past childhood memories. So some of you need to do this wounded child healing. I think that's the word for it. You need to do it as part of the relationships with the people at work, while others of you need to do it through your creative work, through the artistry you're currently invested in. Some of you need to write, others of you need to follow a certain musical coordinated dance, or write something like a symphony, a song. Others of you, I feel like you need to paint. You're preparing some sort of exhibition and things are not working out. Others of you are working in fashion or in architecture, and just like all of the designs and the models are falling apart, and you're looking at the blank piece of paper and you're like, feel the pressure, what do I do? Well, you need to silence people, draw boundaries, and do this inner child healing by confronting those nasty feelings that come up to the surface. If you feel desperate, if you feel sad, if you feel angry, just shout. If you feel angry, shout, maybe do it into a pillow if you don't want to scare other people, but do it anyway. If you feel scared, put yourself on the floor in a safe space and hug yourself and tell yourself it's gonna be okay. Focus on the objects that are lying around you, which are anchored into reality, into the present moment. It's a mindfulness technique that can help you truly develop a feeling of safety by focusing on one object at a time. For example, that chair is good and solid and stable, and it's sitting right next to me, and I can see it and I can touch it, and it's okay, it's safe. The mirror in front of me reflects my image exactly as I remember it, and I feel safe when I look at it. The window is not moving and everything. So like little things. I used to do this as well when I used to have panic attacks, and trust me, I have a lifelong history with facing fear, anxious personality, and like trying to build up my safety resources from literal scratch. So I can tell you this works. Try to practice it. Look up a lot of advice. There's so much advice out there, both on YouTube and in books, and speaking to counselors, to therapists, talking to your friends. It's a community. People are going through so many different challenges nowadays, and you can always find the advice you need if you're just curious enough to begin the healing journey. And I feel like this is what you're going to do in your work. You're going to understand how your life informs your work, and your work affects your life, especially your past. Now, we also have here success. So you'll be successful. You will heal. You will overcome the darkness. You will integrate shadow parts of yourself, things that you are ashamed of, things that you are very critical and judgmental about other people. You will finally accept them as, so what? I do that too. So what's the big deal? So I feel like the Panther is about cutting through the CRAP, right? You're just gonna be like ruthless in your search towards authenticity. Pluto in Aquarius could really pull you through a chaotic spin of bringing up past memories, giving you current resources to read and study, getting you the right kind of help and support. All you need to do is integrate and synthesize all of this information coming your way and decide, I'm going to heal. That's it, I'm going to heal. And the moment you do that, the blocks will start to click, clack away from you. They will dissolve. You may have a surge of feelings that were repressed coming over you. Wash them away. And speaking of wash them away, here is a card from the Healing Waters Oracle, Water Codes. Ancient wisdom, the intelligence is within you. I guess you're going to discover something that Meryl Streep said is part of her actors practice. I do have a lot of actors references because I love cinema, guys, and I've been watching so many documentaries of some of my favorite directors, and so many fascinating YouTube analysis regarding some of the movies I really enjoy and the actors I like. And I really like Meryl Streep. She has Saturn in the second house like myself, and she's a role model I follow. This could apply to you. Maybe you have Saturn in the second house. She's a Cancerian sun, so maybe you're a Cancerian sun or a highly sensitive, artistic individual. So basically she was saying that work from within. Everything that you do should come from within. First you grab the feeling from within, and then you begin to say the line, to mold the feeling on your body. But it all has to start from within, even though you're like talking to somebody in front of you. It's all from here. And you can do this practice where if you feel rushed by other people at work, if people are kind of pressuring you for an answer or, you know, for a result, you could just do this, you know, and be like, no, stop. I need time, okay? I need time, and I just need to find how to respond to this, to what you are wanting me to do, because at the moment I can't find the response. And that may be a process which requires you to be humble and to break the pattern. Because, you know, sometimes we just respond, somebody says something, it's like, you have to do these things by next Friday, or that's it. Well, this will be an exercise in you saying, I don't think I'm able to do them by next Friday. I understand the need to do that thing, but I'm going to take my time and actually work through it. In some cases, you may be afraid because you may be losing your job if you do that, but you can release samples, or you can organize the schedule in such a way that you can reassure your boss or your superiors, I'm still gonna do the work, but I'm gonna do it at my own pace. If this doesn't imply that your pacing is gonna disrupt the schedule of other people or the resources of other people. Because, you know, working as part of a team, everybody needs to match their schedules, and it can be quite difficult. But I feel like it's an important message for you to know that you have agency. You're not just a slave to the wage. You're not just a person that constantly like obeys and does whatever their superior tells them. Why is this person called a superior? This person is not superior to you in any other way. Maybe their age has granted them more life experience, but that doesn't mean that they are more emotionally intelligent than you, or that they know a lot more than some of the things you have learned in your life. We are all equal, even though we may not appear so, but we are all equal. Each of us is struggling with something while also being blessed with something. All of us have Saturn and Jupiter in our chart. Nobody's exempt from the transformative energy of Pluto. You know, it's just that some of us have to deal with a lot more, karmically speaking, than others. But at the soul level, the core of our values and our energies is very similar. You know, the blueprint of being human is very similar. We all hurt and cry at the same kind of things. Okay, I'm gonna need to go on this, I don't know, diatribe. Okay, bringing it back, we have here number 37, and this is your final card. We see here crossing the veil and mourning. So I feel like you lost somebody. You lost somebody or something. Something was taken away from you. Maybe you wanted to be the first in something. You competed with somebody else and you lost. Maybe you wanted to get a degree and you couldn't finish it on time, or it was taken away from you due to lack of money. Maybe it's like somebody else came in front of you, or it could be also a romantic loss. You may have lost a partner, you may have lost a relative as well, a family loss. And that is affecting your energy, it's affecting your whole emotional body and the emotional work that you're supposed to put into your job. You know, those moments when you have to refrain from completely kind of crying or exploding in anger at work, or being too enthusiastic that you scare other people. So now you're understanding that it's important for you to release this deep pain in your heart, and it's connected to healing your wounded inner child. And once you do this, it will unleash your intuition and creativity and playfulness and instincts. It's like, rather than being afraid of your instincts, you're gonna completely give in to them, and they're gonna lead you towards a really fantastic creative adventure. We see here the imagery of the feline, right? Be a little bit unapproachable. Know your self-value and self-worth. Don't take any kind of job. Don't take all the orders in the world from your superior. Know when to be obedient and compliant for everyone's good so that the project is complete, but also know when to carve out time for yourself and be in stillness and focus on your feelings and draw some really important protective boundaries so that you can do your best with the part of the work that was entrusted to you. I feel I'm going to end the reading here. I feel it was quite intense. It's also 24 minutes long. Thank you so much for listening. If you would like a personal reading, because these are general ones, I feel like I need to remind you guys that in July, I'm having a special half price sale. You can get any of my services for half the price. So take advantage of this. You can also book this month for another point in time. The second link in the description box takes you to my website where you see my services. Send me a link and I'll be happy to provide you with the discount. Take care, Group 1. Unleash that creativity. Ciao. Hey, Group 2. Welcome to your Tarot Pick a Card reading. This is for those of you who are drawn to this purple lighter. So, fire energy, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Fire is cleansing, but it could also be impulsive. I don't know why I feel the need to say it's also one of the most horrible ways in which you can die. Maybe some of you have been into horror stories lately, may have been reading them or watching a lot of horror movies. Some of you may actually contribute to the creation of horror designs, horror drawings. I feel like you guys could have a morbid curiosity. I'm trying to listen. There is something very deep inside of you that is dissatisfied with work. You have so much power and passion and potential. You are meant to be in leadership position, but for some reason you just keep choosing the safe, easy way out, when the most difficult part would be to start building your empire, to start working, crafting your career. And step by step, each day, in a sustained way, by facing the unknown, you need to express who you are. Because I feel the more you will take these roles in which you are subservient to somebody else's products, services, whatever it is that they're selling, you will never be completely satisfied. I also feel that some of you may have stomach issues because you are actively repressing your deep, intense emotions, which need an outlet. And you're also kind of like, you're blocking your creativity center, right? Because the area right above the womb and beneath the stomach is the creativity area. It's Swadhisthana, the sacral chakra. So these issues will be spiritually resolved as you make bold decisions to become your leader in your work, to I'm hearing like part of the Communist Manifesto, take hold of the means of production. Stop working for capitalism, become your own farmer, plant your own food, become sustainable and independent. Well, let's not take it to the other extreme. As you know, capitalism is not perfect, but neither was communism. We don't have a perfect social, political, and economic system. We're human and flawed, and some of us do well with governance, others without governance, very varied. But yeah, I feel like, to wrap up this parenthesis, I feel like you need to take control of your daily schedule. I feel like you will thrive if you make your own schedule, if you create your own rules and follow them. I also feel like you're spending a lot of time at work doing unproductive things, like mostly just biding your time until you have to go home, And that can also take a toll on you as a person, because you've got intelligence, you've got vision, and they're being wasted in whatever it is that you're doing right now. And I'm not saying these things to criticize you, okay? Please don't take it like, oh my God. No, this is just hopefully to inspire you to follow your path, follow what you're meant to do, because a lot of you know that. You just need kind of like a pat on the back or a sobering reminder that, hey, what you're doing right now is not the road to wealth. It's not the road to, you know, really feeling comfortable in your body, because as I mentioned, some of you could have these stomach pains. Now, let's see what the cards have to say. I feel like I've intuitively given you a message from this lighter long enough. Oh my God, wow, talk about it. So we see here the Tower, and I don't know why, but I felt like one of my cats arrived behind and nuzzled into me, but there's nobody there. You may be feeling unsupported at the moment. You may need a lot of support, but you're feeling unsupported, and one of my cats decided to use my couch to scratch her claws. Sharpening your claws. You're getting ready for a conflict. You're getting ready to claim what's yours. The Tower, Mars energy, it's all about this. That's it. I built my house on a wrong foundation. Now I'm gonna take a bulldozer to it, and I will either relocate or rebuild again on solid ground this time, not on quicksand and not on anybody else's terms. So a lot of you have this Mars energy coursing through your veins. Some of you could even have these moments when your hands could be shaking, you know. You're trying to just control the energy that you have inside, which is criminally underutilized in your case, yeah. So a change, a big change is coming in your career. Get ready for it. I know that you've been feeling it. The Tower is never a surprising card. It may look disastrous, but it's a disaster that you knew it was brewing. You knew it was brewing, and then, you know, the cherry on top of the cake, the detonator, the trigger appears one day, and nothing is ever the same. We also have here the Four of Coins. Money issues, holding on to money too much, trying to amass it, trying to save it, being afraid of never having enough money. But in reality, you do have money, but you have this lack mentality, or gated mentality, better said, in which you feel like even though you have money, you still need to continue to work and to push yourself, because you never know when the money will be taken away from you. And now you signed up to all these responsibilities and you need to keep going. It reminds me of an interview that I listened with Zendaya, and she was mentioning this as well, the fear of wealth. She has accrued this wealth, but she cannot relax into it. She cannot enjoy it because she's afraid it will end, it will stop, it will be taken away from her, and what's going to happen next? But this is an indication that you need to be reminded that you have the resources you need. Stop blocking yourself, limiting yourself, telling yourself you don't have enough, or that there's never enough, because it will never be enough if you keep affirming and manifesting this energy. I also see here the 10 of Coins. More money is coming your way. You have to get ready to receive. And how do you do that? Well, by opening yourself up, by extending your arms. If somebody's giving you a gift and you are not open to receiving it, to grabbing it, it will just fall by the wayside and crash and smash itself, or it will just slide by you. You have to be open and ready to receive, and for this you have to change your mentality a little bit. So a big change in your career. You're going from little savings account money to wealth, true money. But I feel that what's going on here, true money, the other money is fake. Sorry, I'm joking. But I feel like you will understand that wealth is a combination of doing work that you love, being supported by a community that is inspired by your work, and also getting the money. You know, the money is kind of like an appendage. It's not the main cause that you wake up in the morning for. Because that could lead to a life of drudgery. You're just working for the coin. You are under Saturn's foothold. rather than entering the Jupiterian mindset of abundance. Life is fun. I will find ways to gather money. I will take risks. I trust in the divine. I trust in the unknown. And I trust in myself. Of course I will be able to do it. Of course I will survive. Of course money will come my way when I need it. Why wouldn't it be, right? Why wouldn't it come? Yeah, so from this gated mentality to this very open, very circular way of thinking. This reminds me as well of the rings in a tree stump. You know, when you cut a tree and you look at the rings to determine the age of that tree. This has been something cyclical that's been happening in your family, generations. You know, generation after generation, you guys struggle with this. And I feel like now it's finally going to find some sort of reprieve. Sorry, group 2, your reading was rudely interrupted by one of my cats deciding to use her litter box. So it could be that there may be a lot of people, you know, throwing stuff around at work, stuff that is bad smelling and brown. You could, metaphorically speaking, I hope not literally, right? There could be these interruptions. You're trying to do your work and you can't, and it's leading to this aggressive moments, right? Where you're trying to defend your territory, or like your boundary, your workspace, but other people get aggressive about you doing that and disrespectful. So it's kind of like you're trying to build wealth, but people constantly mess with that process, and you have to always keep coming back to the drawing board or be flexible in your approach. Let's see what the oracle cards have to say. So we have here number 31, the male principle. A step towards reconciling with the masculine is before you. Okay, so there are blocks here and issues. I mean, I could hear a door being smashed on the corridor outside. Yeah, there's tension, there's aggression, there's conflict because of psychologically there's this energy of poorly integrated Mars energy, like not knowing how to utilize your power, not knowing how to utilize your sense of competency, your skills, your confidence. And this is being manifested in people who come at you with this Mars energy, this aggression, this conflict, this constant interruption, maybe even bullying at work. The bear is heavy and can be quite scary. You know, the bear is phenomenal mammal. I mean, it could literally rip you apart in seconds, but at the same time, bears are soft and cuddly, and they are also quite protective, right? So we see here this combination, and it's an indication that you need to find a way to make peace with not only your own struggles with confidence, I would say, because I don't think you have a lack of confidence. I feel your confidence, your skills, your capacity to work have been frustrated by the men in your life ever since you were small. Like maybe you had a father who never tried to teach you anything because he thought, oh, you're never gonna become anybody, you know, or you have your looks. What do you need skills for? To earn money? Oh, come on, other people are gonna take care of you, you know, or like saying these demeaning things, maybe an uncle or a brother or some male friends while you were growing up. They may have constantly teased you or bullied you, and you grew up with this understanding that what is masculine is not me, what is masculine is prohibitive, I really dislike. There's always conflict, there's always criticism coming from the masculine side. But in reality, you have a masculine side inside of yourself, and the more you think poorly of the masculines outside of yourself, the worst is going to be inside of you, because you're like smashing and criticizing the other half in you. It's your animus, a part of your soul that wants to be creative, wants to be confident, wants to compete, wants to kind of go ahead and like just do things just for the fun of it. That part is suppressed, and that's why conflict appears in your reality. You're struggling with yourself. You're struggling with yourself, and it shows up as struggling with other men, maybe even competing with other men at work. I see here as well the witching hour, beautiful card. We see here another animal spirit, the wolf, favorable circumstances. So things will improve at work, don't worry. I know we began quite strongly and a bit shockingly with the tower. It's like, destruction. But this is scorched earth that needs to be scorched in order to become fertile again, because it hasn't been producing any results for you. So don't worry, you're doing a little bit of an alchemical act right now by combining your masculine with your feminine side, by making a drastic decision to change something in your career. You are literally making magic happen. Just like the title and the banner, professional magic, right? We also see here, adventures. So you may become a technological nomad. You may choose to go for a more outdoorsy job. You may choose to work with pets or animals, or have an occupation that puts you more in touch with your feelings, with your instinct, with your body. This seems to be a theme here tonight because Group 1's reading had this thing as well. So we see here the bear, we see the wolf, we see the parrot and other exotic birds in this gorgeous Amazonian paradise. You may decide to switch jobs and relocate continents as well. You know, maybe you're working in Europe at the moment and you will decide to completely shock everybody in your social circus and relocate to South America, maybe working in Brazil or Argentina or Chile, Peru, you know, or vice versa. You're working in these countries already, you're sick and tired of the work culture there, and you'll decide to go to Japan or Australia or India. You're gonna do a massive shift, and it's going to make you very happy. I'm here to give you good news. It's going to make you very happy. This alchemical process that you're embarking upon, it's going to lead you to so much fun. Now, adventures can also be a little bit dangerous. They can be about meeting unexpected people, dealing with unknown territory, having to pull yourself up by the bootstraps because you may not have all the resources while you're trying to adapt into a new environment and explore the new world. But this process is going to bring up this vital energy inside of you that has always wanted to do these things, you know. Much like I think some of you in childhood, you wanted to play, I don't know, cops and robbers, but you were instead sent to your bedroom and made to wear pink dresses because you're a girl and girls don't play so aggressively. That's just one example out of the many ways in which we harmfully gender children when they're small, right? Wow, I see here poet as well, and the light attributes are expresses soul insights and symbolic language. And I'm reminded here of the energy of Maya Angelou, and I feel like you would also benefit by reading the works of bell hooks. They tend to be quite academic. They're used in gender studies a lot, but she has a very approachable way of writing some big ideas, of breaking it down into understandable, simple language. So I don't know why, but I feel like you may take the written word and present it in front of the public more. You may perform more in this new chosen career. And as I am about to pick your Healing Waters Oracle card, one of my cats started drinking from her water fountain. So you're going to nourish yourself. It's like everything will start flowing much better in your life. The advice here is the sweet waters: sensuality, romance, enjoyment, fertility, and balance. Some of you are going to want to start a family, and you will transform the journey of you becoming a parent into your actual business. You may become a parenting mentor. You could train to become a doula. There is just so many ways you can go about this in this day and age, right? You may sell products that help parents raise their children better, or like protect them from toxic, harmful ingredients. I just feel like you're going to enjoy life as an adventure. This is something you've been sleeping on for a very long time. And now what I see in your energy, group 2, is you're finally going to break out everything you've been repressing and finally living it up. So you go from the tower, you see this energy, smoke and ashes, and gray and brown and black and negativity, and it's like your head is on fire and all these headaches, and it's like, oh, what have I done? But it leads you, like the final card, it leads you towards these sweet waters. I got so excited I just couldn't move my upper lip. Yeah, so need to take a breather. Some of you may work in a different culture, so you will need to study a new language. And even though it will be difficult, I feel like you're going to be so excited about finally using your potential, using your mind, and just like learning on your feet, thinking on your feet. Some of you need to do this. It's your destiny. Yeah, you may have a North Node placement in a fire sign, like North Node in Sagittarius, in Aries, or in Leo. You need to use spontaneity, fire, passion in your day-to-day existence, because you tend to be a bit too brainy and cerebral and detached with a South Node in an air sign. Anyway, you're not here for an astrological analysis, but a tarot reading. Thank you so much for listening. If you would like to get a personal reading with me, because these are general messages, I need to remind you that in July 2024, I have this special half price sale. You can get any of my services except the first one, which is priced at €5, and it will always be priced at €5. But any of the other ones, you can get them half price. You can book for a reading in July, and I can create it for you at a later point in time. Just take advantage of this opportunity. I know the economy is not great at the moment, so I really want to help you out, guys. The whole sale lasts until July 31st at midnight, okay? So please take advantage of this. The second link in the description box takes you to my website where you can see all my services. Write me an email and I will gladly give you the half price. Thank you for listening. I'm gonna leave you now. See you next time. Ciao. Hi, group 3. Welcome to your tarot pick-a-card reading. This is a reading for those of you that were drawn to this brush. I actually got this brush when I was in Nashville in Tennessee, and it's been like a favorite of mine. It's really well made, so I feel like in your career you may actually receive some sort of financial compensation or public recognition of something well made, something that you have created, you have contributed to the development of something, and people are noticing it, they're utilizing it. I also feel like your energy is 10 times more lighthearted than the previous two piles. Not that they were bad in any way, it's just that they were going through a lot, while yours is like experiencing your energy at work with light brush strokes, you know, like just putting a little bit here and a little bit there, and you know, Bob Ross, was it? Bob Ross your way through through your work, right? The infamous painter with the perm. I also am getting that you're trying to distract yourself with whatever is going on at work. Maybe you've got a really cool group of people that you work with. You've got a nice team, you've got a nice work environment. You enjoy going to work, you enjoy the routine. There's a nice commute from your home to your work. And that is distracting you from other difficult things that are happening in the background of your life. It's like right now you're focused on work and your career, and you find it to be your safe space, your light-hearted space. I feel like some of you are also working on things that are not that intense or heavy. You have quite pleasant jobs, or some of you may have quite jobs that are underneath your level of skill, so you may get slightly bored. Some of you accomplish your tasks very quickly, and then you may just spend time talking to colleagues or pretending to fill up the time until you have to go home. I think it's a very laissez-faire attitude. It's very relaxed. That's what I'm picking up. That's your energy at the moment. And it's very elegant somehow as well. Like you really enjoy creating your outfits before you walk out the door. You like this whole routine of creating a look at work, going to work, sticking to the schedule, because as I said, other things in your life may not be so rosy, may be falling apart. Your family, your love life, your home life could depress you, and work is like your safe comfort zone at the moment. All this being said, let's see what the cards have to say. So first, your tarot cards. We have here the Emperor, Aries energy. We have here the Wheel of Fortune, Jupiter. And we have here the Ace of Wands. Wow. Yeah, it's all good. It's all rosy at work. Is it ever, right? But for you, I mean, these cards are pretty impressive. Smooth sailing. It may be that the transit of Jupiter in Gemini is currently crossing through your 2nd, 6th, or 10th houses. I did a description of what these houses represent for group 1, so you may want to listen to that reading as well. I don't know if all of it will resonate, but at least the description of the astrological houses may help. Feel free to follow me on TikTok as well, because I do describe the astrological houses there in a very short, fun series. So the Emperor, you're coming into your own. I feel like you're finally enjoying work. It may have been a lifelong struggle, and you see the light, how beautifully from my candle is reflected in this. You're finally getting to terms with the work environment. You understand the rules, the regulations, the unspoken things. You know what you have to do. It's comforting, it's easy, whereas in the past it may have been a struggle to reach this point. You had to perfect yourself. You had to fight maybe for your spot. You had to go through a lot of tests, a lot of interviews. You may have been rejected several times, or you failed. And now look at you, the Emperor. You know what you have to do. You are respected. You are liked. You are skilled. And it's good. And there is this reward coming your way. There is this acknowledgement, a promotion potentially. They're moving you up to the better department. You're going up. I'm kind of getting this image of you taking the elevator to the upper floor to go and talk to the CEO, the boss, the person, the higher ranking individual that has the company. Or I feel the majority of you that have chosen this are working in more traditional institutions, public administration, corporations. There is a very strong Taurian vibe that I'm picking up from you guys. And I feel like you're finally coming to terms with a lot of things that irked you in the past, that caused a lot of problems. You're no longer having this inner conflict about going into a specific environment to earn money. Maybe in the past you had this philosophical debate. It's like, oh, I need to stick it up to the man. I don't ever want to work for a corporation. And now you're like, you're taking it in your stride, and you're like, why not? I mean, it's a form of work. It's decent. It's okay. I may not be contributing to science or something, but it's a form of earning my living and my place in the world that is safe and stable and pleasant. And you can do it, you know. The Wheel of Fortune talks about a series of blessings coming into your career. I'm really happy to tell you this. So this can be anything from more money, better co-workers, you know, a new work wife, a new work husband, a person that really likes to take you under their wing and laughs with you, jokes with you, gossips with you. I was lucky enough to have this experience as well at the beginning of this year. Unfortunately, it didn't last, but I have Uranus crossing through my 7th house, and I know that things are not meant to last. They are lessons in my higher becoming. So yeah, definitely I see the wheels turning in your favor, and you're becoming like the darling of your workplace, the favorite. You should watch the movie. I don't know if you had a chance to see it, but Olivia Colman and Emma Stone and Rachel Weisz. It's a phenomenal movie. Now we also have here the Ace of Wands. Well, this tells me you will have, and I don't know why I did this, but yeah, maybe you're impatient. You want to start something. You want to get something off the ground. It could be that what makes work so pleasant right now is that a potential boss, somebody higher up, has decided to entrust you with more responsibility, and thereby you're also going to increase your income, to organize something, to maybe spearhead an idea, or organize a new department, or put together a project that is going to really increase the renown of the place of work. And your heart is really in it, yeah. the heart. Your heart is really in it. You're hitting the books, you're doing your research, due diligence. You're focusing on the details, and you're living for this. It's really something pleasant. You're enjoying this kind of creative organizational work. Okay, let's see what else. The moon, number 34, and the sentence or the inspiring moment is, Lady Moon gives you the eyes to mystery, the other feminine power. And my cat, Luna, so I have a cat called Moon. Basically, Luna is moon in Latin, and she just arrived at my feet. So nurturing, helping women. If you are a woman, you'll be doing a project that helps other women, and I think your heart is into this. There may be something here about acquiring more tampons for the ladies at work so that they don't have to purchase them themselves, or fighting for reproductive rights in some way, or leading a campaign that is promotional, an ad or something about menstruation and menstrual health, and maybe fertility, like workplace pregnancies, and women being on leave from work and coming back after they had their baby, and how they adjust to the new work environment or the old work environment that they perceive it as new because they were on leave, so on and so forth. You're maybe also doing something about involved fathers, and how fathers can also take this leave, and how they may want to become the primary caregiver at home, and how could they benefit from these things as well. So yeah, it's very beautiful. It's very soft, very feminine, very tender. We also have here dance, freedom. I don't know why, but when I see this card, it has a witchy quality to it, because you see those two women dancing around this majestic fire. So again, fire talks about creativity, inspiration. It's literally the Ace of Wands. Yeah, the club that represents the divine fire. Okay. I find myself that in readings in which the messages are ultra positive, I tend to say less than in readings in which the messages are more complex and difficult and I need to explain more. So if you feel that I'm not giving you consistent interpretation time with the other groups, it's because of this. It's the nature of the positivity of these messages. I literally don't have anything complex to unravel. Miracles. Yeah, expect something that you thought was impossible in your career to become possible. Some of you are thinking about combining some sort of study trip abroad, or you have gotten in contact with a celebrity or somebody who is of importance, and you never thought that this person could reply and agree with what you offered them, or you never thought that that study abroad period is actually going to happen and they could find money for it and you can actually go. But it is happening. Yeah. You never thought that you would be promoted or that you would reach a high level in a corporation, you know? Again, I'm thinking back to that moment where maybe as you were growing up as a teenager, maybe you had a philosophy that was completely anti-corporations, anti-capitalism, and now you work in one and you are actually enjoying it and it's leading you towards the success. Or you have a thriving business and you have a lot of employees that require the basic backbone and support of a corporation, right? With all the codes of conduct and rules and regulations and, you know, organizing holidays and extra time and paid leave and all of those things. I see here priest. So the light attributes are facilitate spiritual commitments, serves as a channel of spiritual energy. I do apologize for what you hear in the background. I don't know why. It could be the air conditioning because I put air conditioning when I do these readings. But my cats are taking their turn to use the litter box exactly when I'm filming. And it's kind of disturbing my flow because I want to continue with the messages. So could we make abstraction of what is going on in the background? It may be that this is another message because I see these interruptions as nuancing my reading. It could be that there may be some sort of social turmoil or protests or divisions in society, in the area where you work. I'm just so exhausted with all of these interruptions. I do apologize, but it's been so hard to do this kind of work with so many interruptions. But let's continue, okay? God is testing us for a specific reason. And you got the priest card, right? So yeah, you may need to have like horse blinders. I don't know what that sound was. Again, interruptions. Horse blinders, horse blinkers, I think they're called. And just completely try to come back to your inner center, to your beautiful world, as there may be things around you interrupting or trying to challenge the boundaries of the place where you work. There could be social unrest, there could be chaotic events happening. I mean, we're seeing what's going on right now with the activity of the sun and the weather changes here on Earth, and yeah, all sorts of like storms. But this is typical of a Pluto and Aquarius transit. So I see that you somehow managed to establish a spiritual and emotional commitment with the people at work, and that's why they lead you. That's why they follow you. That's why you can lead them. And then I also have the plunge card. And the plunge card says, don't hold back. It's time. Go for it. Dive in. I know that it has been difficult. I feel like I want to cry. I feel a lot of tension in my heart following all these interruptions. I think that these interruptions signify the ones in my environment, the irritation that I was picking up on. It signifies how you were constantly feeling in your career path, like you were always one step behind or too far ahead, or criticized or pushed to the side or replaced, or not paid enough for your value, or not given enough explanations and support and guidance and mentorship. And you nonetheless persisted, and your CV may look a little bit crazy. You may have switched a couple of jobs. In certain situations you had to leave because there were toxic dynamics that were really affecting your health. But even though it may look like a patchwork, even though you feel this irritation at things not having gone on a straight, true, and established and perfect path, these interruptions were meant to happen to help you create the backbone, to help you understand and reach this point where you are grateful for the work that you have on a deep level that you can't really explain to other people. For you, reaching this point has been not only, well, I get promoted at work, it's also part of a spiritual journey. It's like, wow, I finally get promoted and seen, and I contribute, and it matters. And even though there may be these slight annoyances and interruptions, persevere. Persevere, do not give up. It will only get better and better. In your work energy, in your professional path, you're aging like a fine wine. And you will become the future trainer of newbies, of juniors, right? Junior assistants and all of that group of new people that are coming, the new generation. I think that especially you will train people in the Pluto and Capricorn generation. You may have to, although I don't like it, I know that Pluto and Sagittarians, you know, like the Gen Z generation gets a lot of bad rap out there. I don't think that they're that bad, you know, they're just wild. Pluto and Sagittarius, limitless, right? Wild, hard to contain in a 9-to-5. And they will use that energy to change and break down the 9-to-5, the traditional corporate environment. And this may pose a threat to you, but don't take it as a threat, just take it as we are adapting to increasing human conditions of combining work and life, right? As you are trying as well with your projects to make the workplace environment more inclusive or better for women, or better for families in general, not just women, and just maybe design it to be more feminine, enticing, softer emotions. So you and the current generation that you are hiring or that is being hired and you have to work with them, you're actually doing the same things but on different tangents. Don't see yourselves as separate. You just have different ways of approaching the massive breakdown of the world of work and in general of society that we have embarked upon. And it's going to be a 2-decade-long journey until Pluto in Aquarius is going to finish this. So don't hold back, dive in, just go for it. Whatever ideas you have, talk to your co-workers, talk to the person that you are working for, talk to a supervisor, talk to some of you may be working in the academic environment, talk to a professor, somebody that has more experience than you, and just go for it. Have fun. Your work is going to become increasingly more fun. Yeah, you're gonna love to do the research, you're gonna love to do activities. You're going to support people on an emotional and spiritual level, not only with your ideas in the boardroom or with your presentations. This card is just so beautiful. I keep looking at it and it's a little bit hazy. It's very softly created, but it's fog on water that is clear. Keep in mind that not everything is as it seems for the time being, so that's why you need to persevere through all of these interruptions, because Neptune and Pisces could be throwing you for a spin, and you have to see through the glamour, you have to see through the illusion, through the sparkliness of a situation to reach its core. And this comes in time, and this comes with perseverance. So don't be fooled by how things look initially. You may get some coworkers that look very flashy and annoying and they're unprofessional looking, but they could actually end up becoming the most trusted people that you have at work. So similar to that saying, don't judge a book by its cover. Allow yourself some time to truly understand what is going on. Definitely do not react. Try to take things in your stride. This will help you build emotional fortitude. And you need this fortitude because you're meant to lead, baby. And it's coming. Yeah, your crowning time is coming. If not in this period, at least in the coming year. This is the reading that I had for you, group 3. Thank you so much for listening. If you'd like to get a personal reading with me, I am open for them. And I need to remind you guys that I have a super awesome, I wanted to say super cute. Yeah. Elle Woods is coming through me. I'm channeling Legally Blonde. Anyway, there's a half price sale. Please take advantage of it. The second link in the description box takes you to my website. I feel like I've been saying this 2 times already and I hate repeating myself, but it's important that I put this at the end of each reading so that you guys can tap into it, because if you're like me and you just listen to your reading and then skip to a next video, then I need to say this at the end of the at the end of the reading. I know a lot of you skip over the introduction, although you shouldn't. Anyway, half price sale. You can get any of my services for half the price except the first one. Please take advantage of this offer. You can book now for another point in time. The sale will end midnight, 31st of July. Yeah, so just as something cool for you to do. If this is where I leave you, if you're not interested in a personal reading, thank you for listening to me and my TED Talk. And I wish you good luck. And see you next time. I hope you'll be here as well next time. Although I don't know, life is unknowable. Okay, bye. Hi group 4, welcome to your tarot pickacard reading. So this is for those of you that were drawn to these sunglasses, my shades. They have like a light animal print as a frame, which makes me feel that something spicy is coming into your career. An opportunity to maybe romantically get involved with a coworker. Although you may be thinking, no, I never do that, I never mix business with pleasure. But I have the feeling all eyes will be on you. There is a feeling of glamour, of also becoming more secretive, hiding certain things, putting a certain healthy boundary between you and the work of other people. But also feeling like you're more desirable, like people want to become like you, they want to behave like you. You may be finding out the details of how you would like to embody the role you have been given finally. It's like you're behaving like the person you've always wanted to be in that specific role. It took you a while, but you're finally there, and other people are going to appreciate that. It's just Noah in the background. He's my tomcat and he's cleaning himself. So yeah, in the background there will be people fantasizing about you, thinking of you, you know, doing stuff to their bodies while they're thinking of you. Yeah, I'm sure that you weren't kind of like expecting this message. Ho. The tarot cards are showing me the High Priestess, Pisces energy, Neptunian. Your ship is coming in, opportunities, but you have this unapproachable quality about you. You're remote, you're detached, you give off the energy of somebody that has a lot of romantic suitors, when in reality you have none. And this makes people want to fight for you, so more suitors are coming your way. But you may just go home and sleep next to your books, you know, like I do. But somehow people tend to think that you're just this incredibly experienced individual that spins everybody on their fingers, right? But it's just because you are fascinated by whatever it is that you're doing. I feel like some of you who have chosen this pile could work in the fashion industry. You may be dealing with beauty, with glamour, with personal transformations, makeovers, and you know how to put yourself in the best light. But I'm hearing that you recently came into your own. Maybe you're earning more money and you're finally deciding to spend it on yourself, on self-love, on looking better, feeling better, eating better, dressing better, and people are noticing this change. We do live in quite a superficial world, so in some level, although they are connected, you know, the inner work that you're doing does get to show on your physicality. But yeah, people tend to want you more when you physically look in a certain way, that rather than when you're doing other things such as spiritual ascending, being emotionally responsible, other things that are not so visible necessarily in your looks, but they're visible in the quality of your life, how peaceful you are, how stable you are, how amazing your relationships are, so on and so forth. So I feel like you're really attractive in this period, and at work there will be a lot of opportunities to attract a lot of people. You may attract some unwanted romantic attention as well, but it's unwanted not necessarily because the other person is creepy and you should be afraid. No, this is more about you're much more focused on doing your work, on the quality of your work, and you could be quite dreamy in this period. You may not be so focused on tangible, material, pragmatic things, and paradoxically they are coming to you even when you don't want them. We have the Two of Cups, love. Yeah, so what's coming in your professional path? An individual that you may want to get into a long-term relationship with. You're just incredibly attractive. You're incredibly attractive at the moment. And I feel like there may be some astrological transit that enhances this energy and pulls in opportunities towards you. Some of you are karmically bound by the world of work. You're meant to meet soulmates through your world of work, through your profession, through your job, your occupation. That's kind of like the only avenue through which you can meet a soulmate. And it's finally happening. I feel like for most of you, you could be 36, 37, 38 years old, and it's finally happening after a dry spell. The Hanged Man, Neptune again. There's so much Neptune. Look at this. The High Priestess, the Hanged Man, and the Two of Cups. Woo! Talk about a fated romance, a sacrifice. Putting a connection on hold, but it's true love, and it's becoming manifested in your professional environment. It's not a lover that you have a connection with and this person returns. It's somebody that you have a connection with from your deep, deep ancestral past, from a past life. Okay, let's pull more cards. this energy is so hazy and dreamy, it's hard for me to concentrate even. It's kind of like I'm tapping into it. It's like, you know, kind of like Neptunian energy, cannot be explained logically. It has to be felt. You have to be near it to absorb it, to soak in it. It's doing things to your body that have nothing to do with words or logic. It's not like you sit on the corner and you go like, Neptune is this, Neptune does that, Pisces is this. Some of you out there who have friends or family who are Piscean, I guess you can attest to how hard to unpack they are and how hard to pin down and to explain they are. And that's part of the magic, right? That's part of the beauty. And then we see here number 24, summer. So I'm filming this reading in the summertime. Could be something that comes at you hot and fast. Yeah, you don't have to wait for it too long. The 24th of the month could be a really important date. A time for blooming. Celebrate your successes. Yeah. Some of you who are in the beauty industry may get a magazine cover. You know, your makeup, your fashion could be placed on a model and it may appear on a really important magazine. Others of you who are artists yourself, you could be featured in some sort of media outlet that attracts more clients towards you, more interest, more projects. People will see you as super beautiful, super attractive, super magnetic. You may be having the transit of Jupiter at the moment crossing over your Venus, which is a time of great beauty, abundance, pleasure, and a deep sense of satisfaction with how you look. I remember my transit, it happened in 2021. I felt like I peaked that year. And it was so sad to feel how Jupiter was parting away. So enjoy this time, maximize it. You know, it's 1 year. Jupiter switches signs each year. Enjoy it. Date as many people as you can. And also combine mixed business with pleasure. Who's there to kind of tell you not to do that, you know? Also, I feel like you also may be getting in touch with a friend of the same sex as you through your work who will become like one of your bestie, you know, like a really good friend. And it's kind of like this person is going to feel like your twin. You're gonna feel like your sidekicks. It's like you're thinking of something and this person puts it into action and you're like, wow, I can't believe it. I didn't even need to tell you and you're already doing this. I like us, you know. I like the way we work. I also see here openness. Ah, beautiful. I love this card so much. Things are finally shaping. Things are becoming whole. You feel more calm, more at peace. It's a beautiful energy. I love being in this energy. It feels kind of heady and sleepy and dreamy and fulfilled. It's a kind of like, yeah, I'm here. I'm gorgeous. Things are going well. The openness also talks to your capacity to work with other people, so on a deeper level. This talks about collaborations with international people, maybe even flying to certain places for work, certain beautiful places that you've always wanted to go to. You will have the opportunity right now to go there for work. I also feel like you have this very soft energy about you. It's like people see you as a maternal or paternal figure, like they may want to rest their head on your shoulder or kind of hug you, or you just feel somehow familiar. And it's not a case where people project their family trauma onto you, like it can happen in certain cases with certain transits, especially if you have Pluto in the first house. No, this is more about kindness, gentleness, softness. It's like I had nurturing, caring parents and I feel like you remind them of them and I just want to give you a hug. That kind of a vibe. I also see here vampire. Light attribute is makes you aware that someone or something is draining your life force. Ooh, your energy at the moment is delicious, prime cutlet, right? Be careful. because some sycophants can attach themselves to you. Some people who swear that they are your loyal servants and greatest fans and they want to help you out. No, be mindful. Be mindful of who you allow into your inner circle. I would recommend staying in this High Priestess energy and this mysterious, unapproachable, slightly detached, a little bit cool energy that just knows her or his self-worth. People will come out of the woodwork, yeah, and they will want to kind of enter your space. I'm reminded of the song The Gospel of John Hurt by Alt J. You may want to listen to it. I feel like the lyrics are significant. I mean, the song literally begins with no space. It's fascinating. It's a unique listening experience. Anyway, I'm done advertising for them. Let's go back to your reading. I also felt like something in the eye, and it's on the right, left, because it's on the left side. Feminine energy. Somebody may want to mess with your feminine energy. There are a lot of people who are not comfortable with feminine energy because they feel like they need to react to it somehow. They need to have some sort of way to take it down or take it apart. Feminine energy is so poorly misunderstood in our society, and it's so blamed and transformed into something evil, right? Because unfortunately it is still a patriarchal world. So you have to be mindful that not everybody's going to enjoy this softness that you have. Many people will misinterpret it for weakness or manipulation, but it's only coming from their own unhealed energy. I also see here the witch hunter, danger. Whoa, it's the first time this card drops, and it's fascinating because we have the vampire and the witch hunter. It's like a Penny Dreadful reunion here. Give me a second, because the final card is the key. We have here the wellspring. It's a bit hazy. I hope you can see it. So what are you thirsty for? Body care. Take a breath. Oh, the plot thickens. There could be a real hunger inside of you, a real thirst for success. And you've been steadily working towards it. You've put your heart and soul into your work. Some of you are more emotionally attached to your work and to the professional role you have than you are to people or romance or other ideals in life. And that's okay. That's perfectly fine, you know. A lot of us who have moon conjunct Saturn, moon in the 2nd house, the 6th house, the 10th house, we tend to be more emotionally attached to work. Yeah, it pains us when something goes wrong in our career, and not so, I wouldn't say hurt, because you are hurt when something happens to your loved ones, but you're not so easily shaken when things happen on the romantic side. It's kind of like you take them in your stride. You're strong, but when something happens in the career, it's like, you know, your point of stability, your center in this world gets completely jammed. So be careful about how you use other people in your environment. You will have a lot of willing participants, a lot of fans, a lot of people that will say, please use me. You know, I adore you, please use me. I want to be by your side. Be careful not to turn into this hunter, into this vampire, and drain them of energy to kind of like just take more for yourself. So be careful of selfish tendencies. You know, there's a fine line between selfishness and self-love. It's really important that you always check into your body, and the body always gives us signals when we are exaggerating, when we are hurt. It always gives us these signals, and keeping in tune with your body is it's an art form. And it's a form of self-therapy. I'm learning so much about the body at the moment from an astrological point of view, but as well from a psychotherapeutical point of view, and how emotions are stored in the body. And I think it's phenomenal to understand how when you heal emotions, the body heals and transforms. And when you take care of the body, your emotions calm down and become more fluid and balanced. So it's such a beautiful dialogue. And many times we try to work only on the body or only on the emotions, and we miss the link between the two. But in your case, you have to understand that whatever it is you want to achieve in your career, you will only get higher and you will only get better and you will be worshipped and adored only if you take care of the people that adore you as well. Your fans, your community, your followers, your students, your apprentices, they adore you and they want your presence, they want your energy. Even if you're a little bit unapproachable, it's important that you keep showing up and you're still there, that they don't lose touch with you, because you give them hope, you give them inspiration, you give them a fire in the belly, and most of all, you give them beauty, and beauty is so healing, much like humor and laughter and art in its many forms, right? Art sometimes contains beautiful things, not always. It doesn't always have to be beautiful to be impactful, but beauty heals the human heart, the human soul, and you represent this, through the way you speak, through your whole personality. So don't block people away from you, don't push them aside, don't denigrate them, don't use them, because they may turn against you and see you in a very different light than they have before. And believe it or not, this is how you will ascend, by helping the collective, by contributing to the collective in the same way in which you have so far. But you can always do so much more. And I think that's the next level in your profession. As you will reach newer heights and rise in your popularity and in the way in which people know you and the way you present yourself, remember to give back. Remember to nourish your community as well, because not only do they crave that, but also they can be like your backbone in times of need. They can protect you, they can defend you if you need them to, right? So keep exerting this powerful, witchy, magnetic energy over them, but don't misuse your power for evil or selfish intent, because it will be a downward spiral. So watch that ego, because as you will ascend, the ego will have a tendency to inflate, and then, right, pride comes before the fall, right? I feel I should end the reading here on this very biblical reference. Anyway, you are spiritually astounding, so I think it fits. On that compliment, I do need to remind you guys that if you want to get a personal reading with me, please take advantage of the half-price sale I have going throughout the entire month of July. You can find in the second link in my description box. It takes you to my website. You can see all my services listed there and their prices. Write me an email and I'll be happy to give you the July discount. You can also book in this month for a later point in time. Just make sure that you take advantage of this sale that I have now, because I know that times are a bit difficult, a lot of economical and political changes, and I just want to help you guys, I just really want to help you, and you're also helping me. You're helping me feed my cats with your orders. So I am okay. I'm not really good at advertising myself, but I do my best. I know it's part of my work. So thank you for listening. I hope to see you in my next one. Take advantage of the sale and have a wonderful rest of your day.